So it's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hi, villains, and welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast, the dark For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast layer. Let me see if I can shed a bit of light in the situation. There we go. And hopefully you and Emery can shed a bit of light on how we're going to put Leicester to the sword in an hour and 10 minutes time when he releases his team sheet. But Paddy's here. Oh, sorry, I did start on my own, but Paddy has now joined us, and I'm going to bring him on. Paddy, how's things?
Good, and yourself?
I'm good. Are Everton beating Arsenal?
They are 1-0. Tarkowski just scored.
Like, genuinely, is there a more Sean Dyche thing that could happen? Takes over a team and Tarkowski scores against the leaders of the league. Jesus. New manager bounce. But I suppose it does go to show that probably Gerrard and Lampard shouldn't be ever allowed anywhere near a team ever again. So
it's just typical that we've got Everton in a few weeks as well.
I know, but sure, get your new manager bounce. Like, I genuinely, I feel that the days are gone that we don't have a manager that can match up with any of the other managers in the league. So, I've a lot of faith in Unai Emery, which is fantastic to have, and I'm gonna have faith in him today as well. Like, Paddy. One of the things that kind of I was thinking about today, and a couple of people messaged me about it on Twitter, we call this a team sheet tantrum. And for those of you who are new to the channel or have only joined the channel in the last year, when we first started doing this, it was kind of to poke fun at the fact that Dean Smith would pick the same team the whole time, and people would be up in arms over it. That's why we called it a team sheet tantrum. And now we're kind of in the situation whereby Unai Emery is going to settle on a team, but people won't be annoyed about that. So I'm wondering, should we change the name from Team Sheet Tantrum to Team Sheet Tattle or something like that? Because it
comes around all the time. There will be a case in a few weeks where we'll have a tantrum that I'll be giving out that Ollie Watkins is still playing, and you'll be giving out that Luca Dean is still playing, and things like that. So no, it's the team sheet tantrum. It gives us the right to have a tantrum if needs be, but I can't see that happening anytime soon. But it gives a good discussion for when the team sheet comes around, and for those that can't get to Villa Park and some that can get to Villa Park, manage to tune in.
The team sheet tedium. That's what it might be.
Doesn't have the same ring, does it?
No. And I suppose after a 2-week break, I would struggle to find this team sheet tedious anyway today. The team sheet tittle tattle, the team sheet afternoon tea team sheet with afternoon tea with the team sheet or something like that. We're going to keep it a team sheet tantrum. I just said I'd throw it out there. But yeah, it's a steam sheet. Somebody's. We could just do a podcast on this and take all your suggestions for what we might be able to call this if people aren't going to be team sheet going to like the team sheet tantrum. But I think we are going to keep it in the team sheet tantrum for nostalgia's sake. But Duncan Kilburn, yes, Villa ladies 1-0 up, really great stuff. Carlo Ward, manager of the month. Unai Emery, some say manager of the month curse, guys. Arteta gets named manager of the month. Sean Dyche comes in and roughhouses his way into a 1-0 lead. So maybe we didn't want Unai Emery to get that manager of the month. So it's Matt C, all filler, no Villa. What's that about? We're always talking about Villa. Right.
We do a bit of filling from time to time as well, in fairness.
We don't do a whole pile either. Team sheet terror, team sheet tyranny. Yeah, there's a lot. The alliteration is endless. It's absolutely endless. But we will have a team sheet in 5 minutes' time. And there's going to be I thought it was interesting yesterday. John McGinn is back in contention. And it'll be interesting to see if he is brought on from the start, if he's tasked to start, because we haven't seen in quite a while, that midfield of Jacob Ramsey, Douglas Luiz, Boubacar Kamara, John McGinn, which was pretty solid when Unai Emery first came in against Brighton, wasn't it, and Manchester United. And I'm kind of looking forward to seeing it again, Paddy. Albeit the Buendia scored 2 goals, they've been 2 really important goals. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing that midfield again, but I don't think we're going to see it from the off today.
No, I don't think after 1 week's training it'd be madness to be putting John McGinn back in there. Getting minutes in the legs, and then we might see a bit more solidity against Man City next week. I think that's when we'll see it first. And then we've got Arsenal the week after. So get some minutes in the leg, get him on for a half an hour today, depending on how things work out. And that's how I see it happening. But in 4 minutes' time, we could be told something completely different. Neil, we've had many a famous. We know we have Micah Richards comes in here every week.
Comes in there,
Look who came in to visit today.
Aston McPhee is in. Hello, Aston. Hello there. Dougie to score from a corner. You know what? Against this Leicester team, they were susceptible to goals against them from set pieces. So, you know, obviously we don't do the charity bet anymore. We did it last year. We weren't very successful, I must admit. But if I was to be a betting man this season, I think maybe a Tyrone Mings goal from a corner might be a one for today, because I don't know why. Just have a feeling there could be a defender will score today. I just have that type of a feeling, because
I could be. I see Barry Robertson is in the comments there. I could be wrong here, but I just have a feeling that Leicester have been poor in the air defensively from set pieces. So today could be the day.
Yeah, it is. Bertie, yes, from the announcement yesterday, Bertie isn't even training yet. He's going to be back on grass next week. There's talks of Diego Carlos getting back on grass next week, which is really, really uplifting, I think, considering we only have Callum Chambers there as a reserve centre half. So lots of things that are coming down the pipeline with regards to I suppose future team sheet tantrums. But I do think that the big news today, if there is going to be any news, I suppose really the only talking point is what's going to happen on that left hand side. Luca Dean is fit, Alex Moreno is fit, Embi Buendia is fit. Do we see a situation where we maybe have Dean and Moreno on that left-hand side, and maybe Matty Cash is favoured over Ashley Young, although I don't think that's going to be the situation. But I don't think there's really that much that is up for grabs or for changes today for this game.
Time will tell. I quite like the fact coming into the next 2 games that we have that we could play those 2 guys together. I think that might give us a little bit more in defence, but we could be very solid with 2 banks of 4 if we're playing McGinn and playing Moreno in front of Luca Dean. But that'll be an interesting one for next week. I don't envisage it's going to happen today, as I said. But we're nearly there. We're nearly at the 2 o'clock mark, so we'll find out soon enough. I think everything else picks itself. I think it's those 2 wide players that are what do we call them? Inverted eights, wide eights, whatever they are. Those 2 are probably the only changes that we're likely to see, if any at all. And we'll see Watkins and surely Bailey up front, I would imagine, and the same back 4.
Yeah, I think so too. Jordy Villan says, an Ollie brace today, and beyond that, I don't care who scores the other 3 for us. I
take a 1-0 today. Honestly, I would. Just important we keep the momentum going.
As I say, that was what I said in the pre-match, in the preview. I think that we're going to be set up to to be very resolute, and I don't think we're going to have any 3-4-0 wins between now and the end of the season. And I'm okay with that, because it's a results business at the end of the day, and I think Unai Emery, knowing what he has, is going to consolidate this team, and that's what he's known for, is being resolute in defence and catching teams then with good tactical plays. We go forward by allowing players like Buendia to come into their own. Neil, I'll tell you something, Dave. I can barely walk up the stairs without coughing my lungs up at the moment. This cold it just will not go away. I'm giving out about it since the turn of the year.
I've only just got off crutches, so there's no way I'm going to be scoring any goals anytime soon.
It would be very much like Mike Bassett, England manager, where Benson and Hedges are up front for the English team. I think we might have a team, and we do have a team. Close your ears, everybody, because we have a team alert. And the team is coming. Where is it? There we are. So we have a starting 11. Show up on the screen, will you? There we go. Starting 11 is Emi Martinez in goals. We have Ashley Young, Konza Mings and Dina, Jacob Ramsey, Douglas Luiz, Kamara, Buendia, Bailey, and Watkins. Boring team sheet. Nothing to talk about. That's it.
Well, I suppose the only thing to talk about is the fact that Dean starts ahead of Moreno. There's no other any real surprises in there.
No, two goalkeepers again.
Two goalkeepers on the bench, which means we don't have. Well, I think young Caden Young was probably playing with the under-18s this morning, was he? They had a big cup game this morning. They were 4-0 up when I last checked, so that's probably where he is. But yeah, that just shows how tight we are if we got two goalkeepers on the bench. I know it's good for Sinisalo to be in around the match day squad, and it's good experience. He obviously rates him, or he would have picked one of the younger fellas to come and sit on the bench, or one of the under 23s.
If I'm not mistaken as well, though, I think when we played Southampton just before that little 2-week break, we had the likes in the Nakamba and those available to us, and he chose to put two goalkeepers on the bench anyway. So obviously, I know
very true.
End of
the. Well, if they were going out, if he knew they were going out, he was never going to risk them either. He did say at one point he wanted to keep. He had no problem keeping Sanson, but he did more or less say that Nakamba was out the gap.
Yeah, and anybody who watched Sanson and Guilbert for Strasbourg, both of them hooked off at halftime. But look, as I say, it's difficult to come into a team and have that impact. Look, the big talking point I think here is just for amongst this podcast anyway, I think, and for Aston Villa fans is everybody wants to see John Duran get minutes today. If you guys haven't seen, we're running a giveaway, and it's not like ones we've run before. Basically, if John Duran scores, and if you have liked and retweeted the tweet on our Twitter page with regards to the giveaway, you'll win a John Duran shirt. One lucky winner will win a John Duran shirt. So if he comes off the bench and scores today, we will be giving away a shirt. But I think we should be excited about him. I think he's brought a bit of a lift. I liked last night before he went to bed situation where he kind of showed a youthful excitement. And did you see it? Did you see it, Paddy? I didn't see it at all. Oh, he had a post that said Villa Park, I'm coming for you tomorrow or something like that. And he looked really excited. If you haven't seen it, Luis Miguel had it up on his Twitter page last night. And I was there. You know what? I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. People who are excited, to play for the club, because at the end of the day, you can't buy that kind of you can't buy that buy-in to a situation, and he's living the dream. Remember, he was during the week on social media as well. He was talking about Philippe Coutinho, and he was like, "I'm playing with Philippe Coutinho," and that's nice to see. Yes, you might say that to be professional, it's better to be overawed by your teammates than it is to be overawed by the opposition. That's kind of what I'm getting at here.
Because, and look, he's a big beast of a guy, obviously a young guy. So it's great to see that youthful enthusiasm. Other than me and you sitting in the airport at 6:30 in the morning drinking pints on the way to Villa Park, that's the other time we see that kind of enthusiasm. But whatever about our team sheet tantrum, there's a couple of tantrums in the Leicester team.
Just bringing it up now.
Unfortunately, the one illogical fear that I have was Suter, and he is playing today.
Why? You're afraid of Suter?
I am, yeah. Well, I think not afraid of him. I just think that aerial threat that I spoke about previously obviously goes out the window with him in there, because that's his game, really, isn't it?
Well, yeah, yes, and no. If you looked at the World Cup, like Harry Suter could be got at on the ground. I once again not a betting man, but I would be if I was doing a charity bet. My new charity bet would be Harry Suter to be booked at any time. It's coming. I know he's been playing with Stoke, but he's going up a level to the Premier League. We've got two ultra fast or strikers that like to get around the field up there, and I think it's going to be an interesting one. I think it's going to be an interesting one for me. Obviously, Maddison, Tete, and Barnes. That's scary. That I like Tete. I really like Tete. I would have liked Aston Villa to sign him.
Mm.
I hope he doesn't prove me right today, and I hope he goes out and has a stinker. And I hope it just rains on him for
Yeah,
the
look,
day as he runs around the place.
we've got Jamie Vardy sitting on the bench waiting to come in there. But I have a question for you. The Brunt that's on the bench, isn't he the guy that used to play for us at underage level?
I think that is correct.
Yeah.
Brunt, Aston Villa. Do you know what? There's this class thing. It's Lewis Brunt. Yeah, Aston Villa. Yeah. Played for up to last year. Signed for Leicester City. Defender, 6'2". Went on loan to Gloucester City twice. He's played for Leicester twice already. Yeah. Lewis Brunt.
He was a big hope for us. As far as I remember, he was one of the original that Mark Harrison signed from West Brom when he moved. And it obviously never worked out for him, but great to see that he's getting into a Premier League squad anyway.
Yeah, he's played
just
once.
don't want to do anything today, young Brunt.
Yeah, exactly. I'm all for that. Do you know what? Do you know who's great? Who has been a player that really came on for them and hit the lights, and then all of a sudden, I know he's been injured because, as you say, if you're a fullback and you play for Leicester, you're going to have a horrible injury at some stage. It just seems to always happen to them. But Luke Thomas, I always really liked him. Is it Luke? I think his name is Luke, isn't it? Luke Thomas, the fullback, left back, young kid. I always really, really liked him. See him on the bench there as well. He's somebody that if anybody has any information on him as to why he's kind of gone backwards, I presume it's due to injury. But please send it to me in a self-addressed envelope, and I'll send you back something nice. But there is a couple of players there as well that that have come in out of the cold as well. Like Dennis Pratt is there on the bench for them. Can play football for sure. And as you said, Jamie Vardy is there too.
Patton Daka could have something to prove if he gets on there as well.
Yeah.
And look, Sionchu is there, Mendy is there, Brunt, as we spoke about. I don't know who Marcel Malinvadua. Yeah, the women just conceded 1-0 or 1-1. Sorry, at Walsall. So hopefully they can come back and get a winning goal in the last 15 minutes. But yeah, that's a strong Leicester lineup. It's probably as strong as they could probably put out, with the exception of Jamie Vardy, who always has a great game against us, but he's just not firing at the moment. He's probably coming to the twilight of his career at this stage. So, thank God, sick of the sight of him the last few years.
Against Aston Villa for sure.
Not even the last few years, going back to when we were in the Premier League previously, I was sick of the sight of him. So yeah. But look, we're in for a tough one today. There's no question about that. This is not going to be any walk in the park for sure.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely 100%. Paddy, who's reffing
it? I looked at this earlier and I can't remember.
Who scored used to have the ref on the
Darren England.
Darren England. Means nothing to me.
Yeah, doesn't
Can't
really
say
matter.
if I like him or don't like him.
I think he might have refereed the Wolves game. Was it one game recently? He refereed. I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. We're only playing Leicester. It's irrelevant. We're playing the big boys. Then you got to worry about it.
Oh, I don't know. Leicester Premier League champions of yesteryear.
Unfortunately for them, they couldn't maintain their top 6 status and stay a big club and get the backing of the Premier League and get loads of fans in. So they've fallen away.
Well, they've come back. Yeah, they've come back to the mean because of the financial aspect of things. Paddy, we're not going to keep everybody too much longer, I don't think. But
especially seeing that there's a big rugby match starting in 6 minutes.
Yeah, Paddy, shh. We weren't supposed to mention that. You said the quiet part out loud. Today is one of those beautiful days of sport in my household that I hope I'm going to be allowed to watch, is because I'm going to sit down and watch Villa on one screen. I'm going to have the Irish rugby team on another screen. And then after that, I'm going to have Limerick are playing against Cork in the hurling, first round of the hurling league here in Ireland. And I'm going to look forward to watching that. And
I forgot about that one.
It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful montage of sport between now and the end of the day. But get your scores in there, guys. I'm going to quickly go down through your scores in a moment. But I've got I've given my thoughts on this already. I think Aston Villa are going to win this 1-0 or 2-1. I just think that we're going to be very hard to break down and very resolute. I think that Emi Martinez is going to need to make a good few key saves today. I think they're going to pepper us from long distance. I can see Harvey Barnes having cracks from out far. I can see Maddison having cracks. And what I mean by this is if we do play that 6 at the back, if we do get into that tortoise shell formation almost in front of the goals. Matt, thanks so much, Matt. Really appreciate that, man.
Cheers, Matt. Thank you very much.
If Aston Villa do have to regress at any stage into that kind of tortoise shell formation with 6 at the back, they are going to take shots from out far. Maddison can do it, Tete can do it, Barnes can do it, and as I say, I still think Emi Martinez is going to be busy, but I would hope that we would be able to catch these guys in the break. You're less pleased that Harry Suter is playing at centre half. I'm probably more pleased that he's playing there than somebody like an Armatri who could maybe watch
the one thing I would like to see maybe in this current setup is that if we can drag them out a bit and have them play a bit of a high line, I think we destroy them. That's our best way of getting at them. But I think they'll sit quite deep because they've been battered a few times this season when they've been expected to win games. So I would imagine they'll keep it very cagey. But if we can draw them out and get them up to the halfway line, that's when we'll get change out of these guys.
Absolutely, I think so for sure.
But I think it's going to be tight. I'm going to go exactly the same as you. I think it's going to be a 1-goal victory, either 1-0 or 2-1.
Excellent. Right, we're going to start going through a couple of your scores there. See, Lionel says 2-1 to Aston Villa, I presume. Sai says 2-1 to Villa as well. We never keep a clean sheet against these at home. Exactly, yeah, we have never kept a clean sheet against these guys at home.
Not that I can remember anyway.
Gary Edmonds, 2-0 to Aston Villa. Danny H, 4-1 Konza, header to kick things off. I'd love it. Be Happy says 2-1 Villa, Louise and Watkins. Ad says 2-0 Villa. Michael Huggins says 2-1 Durant to get the winner at the Holt. I absolutely would love to see it. Glenn, good to see you back here again. 3-1 Aston Villa. Giggs Sharma says 2-1 to Villa, Durant winner. 2-1 Ollie Watkins, and Ming says Audrey, looking forward to seeing stuff up on social media if you get over to that Arsenal game as well. And hopefully that shirt brings a bit of good luck as well. Audrey won one of the shirts we gave away recently as well. So congratulations, Audrey. Keith Cassidy, 3-1 to Villa, Durant to make sure of it in the last 10 minutes. Slubius Ed, 2-0 Villa, Watkins and Ramsey. Mark Holmes, 2-0 Ollie and Bailey. Jordy Villan says 5-1. We knew that he was scoring. We were scoring 5. Agree, we won't win by many more than 2, but today I think we'll smash this lot. Barnes most likely to score theirs, but we'll run rings around their defence. Jacob Ramsey to score in a 1-0 win, says Jam Jack. Rob Henry says 3-1 Villa. Bailey, Ollie and John. Cat Cannon says 2-2. Michael Parsons says, I agree, 2-1. Love Bleed says 2-1 Villa. Giggs Sharma says 4-1 Villa, actually. Let's be positive. And Midnight Mark says 3-1 to Villa. Sean is asking me, am I going to be in the Roisin Dove tonight? If I somehow make it into the Roisin Dove tonight, I will probably, I'll have turned into that guy from Little Britain that does the whole look into my eyes, not around my eyes, and you're under my spell. And I've been able to somehow hypnotize my better half to allow me to go into the Roisin Dove. So I'm not going to rule it out.
Sean also brought me back to my childhood here by mentioning a match he's going to. Ballybrack Boys versus Valeview Shankill. Feel like that's a bit of a derby match he's going to there this afternoon. So that'll be an interesting one. Shame you're going to miss the Villa though.
Yeah, that one could erupt as well. Bertie says 2-0 Ollie from the spot. Duncan says 3-12 Villa. Duran the super sub. I think that's supposed to be 3-1, I would imagine.
That sounds like something that Vinny would throw in there. GAA
yeah. Vinny Kahua Gaming would be in there. Yeah, Rex says 2-1. Willie Moy says, great show, guys. Thank you very much, Willie. 2-1 to the Villa today. Truckanil says Trucka is 30, isn't it? I think Trucka is 30. Jesus, this is me drawing a blank on Irish language here from Sean.
There's a 39, Trucka knee.
That could be it, yeah. The MacB says 3-1 to Villa. Bailey 2 in the first half. That's actually something that we should talk about as well, because if Bailey scores early on and his tail is up, he's a completely different beast as well. Duncan says 3-1 to Villa. Clarifying that one. T8 says Lily Tate 2-1. Jordy says, got a feeling Ashley Young would take our penalties. Yeah, that's actually going to be interesting. Although we did mention John Duran was apparently supposed to be an impeccable off the spot when during the week as well. Duncan, our Dancing Brave, says Duran will come off the bench to add to our already big lead. Wally 2 Bales also. I presume that's Ollie gets 2 and Bailey gets 1 as well. Mark Holmes with complete and utter slander saying this is Cork's here in the hurling. And no, it is not. And Shane Colvin says 3-16 to 5 points. Well,
we had to get 1 in there, didn't we?
3-0 and good luck in the rugby. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, as I say, we'll the Villa are playing Wales in the rugby as well today, so we're going to be simulcasting.
Ireland are playing Wales.
Right, who did I say?
Villa.
Villa are playing Wales today in the rugby. Yeah, am I not mistaken? Was the first game Villa actually ever played? Was it half a rugby match, half a soccer match?
Is it not cricket? No.
Maybe it could have been cricket. Who knows? Rugby and cricket are the same, aren't they?
What?
They're the same. They're the same sport, aren't they? I'm joking. I'm joking. Yes, Sean says it's 30 boys. As long as it's not football, we don't have to worry about it. Isn't that it? But 30-0 says Sean. Anyway, we're talking nonsense here at the moment. We're going to leave it at that. Guys, thanks very much. Here's looking forward to an Aston Villa win. Don't forget, you still have time. Like and share the post about the John Duran jersey. If he scores today, we will be giving away a jersey to one lucky winner. So thanks very much, everybody, for watching. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Here's to an Aston Villa win today. If you're at the game, I hope you have a fantastic experience. Get your scarves out and roar the boys on to victory, because we will be back with a post-match show at 4:55 GMT, and we'll see you then. But until then, everybody, all that's left to say is up the Villa!
Up the Villa!